Hey everybody, and welcome back to another severe storm film or weather forecast. In this forecast, we have a lot to talk about here, so let's get right into it. We're first going to be taking a look at Storm Prediction Center's Day 2 outlook because we have a marginal risk of severe weather which extends all the way from the Abilene area all the way to the Tallahassee area in Florida, back up into portions of Dothan, Alabama, into portions of Wichita Falls, Texas, and then as you can see, that threat will move east as we head into the day on Sunday with the potential for more severe weather, particularly the threat for some damaging wind gusts. All right, so let's, without further ado, time out that severe threat for you guys as we head in towards the daytime hours tomorrow and in towards the day, early morning hours on Sunday. Notice those storms that flared up across portions of Texas, turning into a big old batch of rain. Some of these could be some stronger storms like that cell right there in northern Louisiana tomorrow afternoon. Could be on the stronger side. Not looking at a big event by any means, but could definitely have that isolated threat for some damaging wind gusts, maybe some hail, and maybe a brief spin-up tornado somewhere. All right, so now that we're done taking a look at the short term, let's take a look at the long term because there's a lot more action that's coming to the United States here. As we fast forward past this event in towards early next week, notice this area of low pressure just offshore of California that's likely going to be producing some rainfall and some wind across portions of Southern California for the day on Tuesday. But watch as this makes landfall with Texas as we head into the day on Wednesday with perhaps some decent instability getting in here, maybe for some decent thunderstorms to fire off. Could have a little bit of a heightened severe weather threat out of this one. And even as we head into the day on Thursday too, another round of instability. Not expecting severe weather in Texas on Thursday, but rather expecting severe weather in the southeast on Thursday. So something to keep an eye on there. But look at what's approaching behind this. All right, look at this. Big trough in the west, big time ridge in the east. And that just shows that you have real warm, moist air trying to lift northward and real cold, dry air trying to punch in behind it. That's going to form your low pressure system, and that's going to get things going. All right, so atmospheric river possible for areas of the western United States as we head in towards that Thursday time frame. Friday is when things start to get really interesting, where we have this negatively tilted trough. I mean, look at this, guys. Like, this is real negatively tilted. This looks kind of like a small bowling ball trough. All right, I mean, look at that, like curvature. I mean, look at that. That's just a negatively tilted bowling ball trough almost across this region, and you're almost certain to have severe weather across the Gulf Coast if this happens. So Friday, March 14th, that's a day to watch for severe weather across those areas. Friday, March 14th is a day to watch for 70-degree temperatures as far north as Indiana, Ohio, and into Pennsylvania. That is going to cause some really sunny conditions up there. So definitely be ready for those nice warm temperatures with that area of high pressure. But not so fast. This storm system is going to flex its muscles up here as well. And you can see here how it's still negatively tilted even more than it is on Friday, with the potential for severe weather extending as far north as Ohio, with a squall line perhaps. We'll have to wait and see more on that storm mode information in later updates. But as we take this into the day on Sunday, it's still going, all right? I mean, look at this, all right? It's still negatively tilted. It's almost neutrally tilted at this point, but it's still throwing out a lot of moisture. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lingering severe threat maybe along the eastern United States, the eastern seaboard, down here across portions of South Carolina up to North Carolina, along the coastal areas of Virginia, as well as maybe into areas of Maryland. And this pattern just continues to flex its muscles as we head beyond that time frame. And I know that was a lot of confusion for what you just saw on that map just a minute ago. That was the jet stream. Let's take a now better, closer look, basically a more simplified view of what you could expect by taking a look at our future cast on your future or your surface map here, you can see there's your isolated threat of severe weather across the Gulf Coast tomorrow before it flares up again on Sunday. Again, possible damaging winds, maybe large hail in some areas, maybe a couple tornadoes can't be ruled out. And then as we head into the day on Monday, maybe a squall line producing a QLCS, the cold front producing a squall line called a QLCS. I mixed up those words for a second. Apologies there. But when that moves out, like I said, area of high pressure is going to jump into gear, and that's going to throw in a lot of warm air across portions of the Ohio Valley all the way into the northeast. And what that is going to do is that's going to flare up a storm system. Again, like I said, the instability is going to flare up. You're likely going to get some strong to severe thunderstorms. Texas is a place to watch out for on Wednesday. And then as we head into the day on Thursday, the Gulf Coast is something to watch with some severe weather possible in Louisiana and Mississippi. I think this is more like a heavy rain threat. With the low cape we have here, we're likely going to have lacking instability, but obviously this could change, so we do need to monitor this. But overall, I think the biggest day that we've looked at so far, quote me, so far, is Wednesday. All right, so Texas, be on the lookout for Wednesday. We have an even bigger storm system coming after that, though, as you guys know. All right, there's your strong low pressure system flexing its muscles across Colorado, and look at the strong flow now out of the Gulf of America. This should shoot showers and thunderstorms as far north as Illinois and Indiana. And some of those could be on the strong side with that moisture. So we need to keep a close eye on that. I don't anticipate a big event, but watch what happens here. I expect a big event on Saturday. All right. I mean, look at this. Down here in the Gulf Coast, I mean, look at that. Like, you're talking about like some discrete cells there. All the way up into portions of Michigan, you could see severe weather. Primary threat would be damaging winds up here because it looks like there could be a squall line, possibly a QLCS look to that. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. Too early to nail down specifics, but it's definitely looking like there's going to be a pretty potent severe weather threat as far north as the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes even as we head in towards that next weekend time frame, which we'll continue to nail down in later forecasts. Obviously, that threat of severe weather and high winds will continue to move eastward. And then as we head beyond this, like I said, guys, the train of storm systems is going to continue with more and more big storm systems to close out the month of March. And most importantly, we have to see what the professionals think. All right, so let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day outlook, right with what we were thinking. All right, big ridge in the east causing above average temperatures. Again, you get 70s potentially as far north as those areas in maroon, literally the areas we highlighted. What a coincidence. And then over here, your precipitation outlook, you're looking at decently above average precipitation across portions of a lot of the west, below average precipitation due to that ridging across portions of Texas with that dry flow out of Mexico. But anywhere else, you're getting flow from the Pacific over here and you're getting flow from the Gulf over here. You're going to have a lot of amplitude to these troughs that come through. All right, so definitely something to keep an eye on if you live anywhere where I was talking about in the video. And you can see here, taking a look at your 8 to 14 day U.S. hazards outlook from March 15th to the 21st. You can see here no hazards posted for hazardous temperatures, so we're not anticipating any like bitterly cold temperatures or even dangerously hot temperatures, so that's good there. But our wind threat is really high. I mean, really high, and it's really expansive too, all the way from Texas up into the northern plains, back into portions of the northeast, back down into portions of the southeast. All right, it is a big area where we need to watch for that wind threat, particularly in those dark brown areas. We can see 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts out of this upcoming storm system anywhere in that outlook. So we really need to be keeping our eyes on that. And lastly, your your second to last risk of heavy snow. Here you can see there's your blizzard potential up there in the northern plains with a slight risk in heavy rain or slight risk of heavy snow in the mountains over here in the westernmost United States. And then here's our flood threat, last but not least. You can see here it's pretty evident that we're likely going to have some beneficial rain producers, thunderstorms in other words, across this region. And that does go up into the northeast, so a flood threat could extend way up there. Definitely something we really need to be keeping our eyes on as we head in towards that March through 21st time frame. Alright guys, I'm Severe Storm Filmer. I hope I didn't talk too much, and I hope you guys got a little out of what we can expect over the course of the next week or so. I'm Severe Storm Filmer. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Like, subscribe, share with others.